Hey, it's me, Bria, and I'm a lifestyle coach. I help moms reclaim their time and energy. Look at you, taking this moment to recharge. I see you. During the Doulas Bloom podcast, I share tools and resources with my clients and community to spend time with themselves. The key to you living as your authentic self is embracing change and having courage. Your relationship with yourself is the only true constant in life, and observing yourself throughout each season will allow you to always be in alignment with the desires of your heart. Are you interested in joining my one-on-one coaching program? You can book a sales call with me by visiting the link in the description to schedule your session today. Before we get started, I have to remind you of your influence because you are an inspiration. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Doulas Bloom podcast. It's me, it's Bria, and I am so happy that you are here and that we are doing this Embrace the Change monthly series this month in February 2022. Like, I'm so happy that you're here and that we're on day 3 of this series. And I'm just happy that you're sticking with this and you're learning about how to embrace the change. Because this is what life is constantly changing. Our bodies are growing, our lungs are breathing, we're always taking in new sensory inputs and all these things. And I just want to give you the tools to help you navigate the shifts that you're going through in your life. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What keeps you from making change? What are the setbacks and how to overcome them? But before we get into today's topic, I would love to share an announcement with you all. I am hosting bi-weekly intention setting gatherings every Monday, every other Monday, some Mondays of the month. I'm actually hosting weekly events, community events. So every Monday there will be an event, and I host weekly intention setting gatherings every other week. And so on the in-between weeks, we do other things, but you want to be on the community email list to hear about all the events that we're doing, because sometimes we do Embody and Body, which is a body work practice that I do with my community. And we also host village nights. So depending on which week you catch us in, we're doing something, and I just want to give you the opportunity to join us. So all these events start at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. So be there or be square. I just want to give you an opportunity to join some of these community events that are happening. And the one that is coming up soon is the one on February 28th, the Village Intention, the Weekly Intention Community Setting event. I have some worksheets that go along with this event, and I want to give you all the resources so that you're prepared. So if you're not a part of the Village community email list, get on the email list so that you can get these resources. All right. Again, weekly intention setting gathering, February 28th, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be square. I'm sending the link to RSVP through the email list, and I'll also leave it down in the description for those who want to book their spot right now. So that is what's going on in the community. That's what weekly events are happening, and I can't wait to share more about all those things, but you got to be on the email list to see about it. So boom. Mic drop on the announcements. Today, we are talking all about the setbacks to change. The setbacks to change. Why are we scared? Why are we scared of change? Let me tell you why. So I have 4 of the primary, the big 4, the 4 setbacks to change. That's what we'll call it, the 4 setbacks to change. And I have a counter to each one of these setbacks, okay? And we're going to go through each setback one by one, and I will share the counter to how to combat this, to overcome this setback right after. So we will start with number 1, number uno. The first setback to change is not being honest with yourself. And so this kind of goes back to that first point in the cycle of change, in the 5 A's to navigating change: awareness. And it's really hard to make change when you're not being honest with yourself. If you're telling yourself, oh, this is fine, it's not a big deal, or I'm happy. I'm perfectly fine with where I am in my life. I've done this. I've lied to myself before when I know everything in my body was like, I hate it here and I don't want to talk to you and I'm pissed. And sometimes people don't feel comfortable saying that. But I think it's important to have a practice where you allow yourself to be a safe space for you to come to yourself when you're feeling these emotions, and not to just bottle them up and never talk to anybody about them, but to actually create a space for you to talk with yourself. Maybe you talk in the mirror. That's what I like to do. Whenever I'm having a rough time, I will talk in the mirror. Even if I don't have a mirror, I will sit up at night in the dark, and talk to myself. I'll be like, girl, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, girl, let me tell you. That is accurate. That is actually how I talk to myself. I cry and let it all out, and I literally hold space for myself. But the way that I want to offer it to you is to do a brain dump and say how you're truly feeling. And when I say a brain dump, I mean grab your journal, grab your pen, and just let whatever comes to you come to you. And I want you to do this for 5 minutes. Okay? And you're like, oh, Bria, what? 5 minutes? What's going to happen is you're really going to get in the flow. And then the 5 minutes is going to be over. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got more to say. And I want you to keep writing. I want you to keep writing until you feel complete. And so this is all about letting out your true emotions. And if you're feeling some resistance to being like, I don't have nothing to say, I will show you right now. I started doing this morning, and I'm okay with showing y'all what's in my journal. I didn't write too much. So literally here, maybe I did. But basically, if you can read this like first line, you can see I said, so what the hell is up? And then I put these little asterisks where I said thinking face, and then I put shrugs, and then like, I'm just like, and then it just came to me. I said, well, shit is shifting. I'm putting in my notice at work, XYZ. And I create this safe space for me to talk about everything that's going on, like what's going on inside of me that I don't get to share with everyone in my life. And so it's like, I don't feel the need to word vomit onto other people, because I always find that once I start doing that, other people think that it's okay to do that to me, and I can't hold space for their shit and my shit at the same time. So I just go to my journal and I do a brain dump. And so that's what I want you to do. When you are avoiding the truth that you're feeling in your body, it's hard to even embrace a new reality. So I want you to take this moment to brain dump. Okay? Okay. Moving on to the second setback, not trusting yourself. And so this goes to the action piece. Actually trusting yourself to make the change that you want, when you're in the cycle, because again, we basically worked on building ourselves up to taking action. And so when we are not trusting ourselves, we have to remind ourselves of all the work that we went through. And this is why I like intention journaling. So I am actually creating a little daily planner for you all. I call it the Be Intentional Journal, and it'll be up on my website soon. But basically what it is that you will take the time to connect with yourself each and every day, to write down what's going on, to do basically what we do in the weekly intention setting, to do that for yourself when we're not hosting that event, to actually have that opportunity to sit with yourself. And I feel like you're not trusting yourself because you're not seeing your power. And so when we go back to revisit what's in our awareness, what was the second one? Acknowledge the impact that we're having and appreciating what brought us to this moment. And what's the last one? And accepting that this is going to take time. We are always in the mindset of this is going to take a while. And so when you don't have that in your forefront of your mind or in your thoughts or in your daily life, it's really easy to avoid it all and to kind of not even think that you're making progress. And so that's why I love intention journaling. And let's see, do I have my journal? I'm going to show everything, because I do everything that I tell my clients to do, and everything that I share with you all, I do this. So this is my my journal that I do my intention journaling in. And basically I created this in a downloadable PDF type thing where everyone can basically get this so that you can do it for yourself. And so on here, We'll talk about some of the different areas because I haven't talked about all of them yet. But these are how you can continue to make progress even when you feel like you ain't it. So as you can see, I have like a habit tracker portion, gratitude practice. I get to write down all my highlights. The highlights are where I can see, oh my gosh, Bria, you are doing this. And then I do cycle syncing. I have to know where I am in my cycle because I have PMDD. And so if I don't know where I am in my cycle, the glitch, which I call the moments where my, what is the word I'm looking for? Basically my estrogen drops and the imbalance, basically PMDD is basically PMS on steroids. And so I have to know what's going on in my body so that I can be compassionate and kind to myself as I'm going through that week in my life, because if I'm not, then I can get in a hole of being like, what's the point? What's the point? And that's when I usually be having my existential crises. And I have practices on here that we do in the weekly intention setting and that are on those reflection worksheets that I've created for you all. But like I live by everything that I'm telling you. So when you feel like you're not trusting yourself, or you feel like you're making a bad decision, you have to remind yourself, one, I have gotten myself through this and I'm going to get through it again. And this is what life is all about. Growing, expanding, and taking up space. And so I'm excited to share the Be Intentional digital journal with you all. It'll be on my website soon. So if you're on the email list, you will know. If you want to know, join the email list. But we got off on a little tangent, but I'm excited and glad that I got the opportunity to share that with you all. So I'm going to take a sip of my tea before we get into setback number 3. So setback number 3 is lack of resources. And I'm putting air quotes around resources, okay? Because if you're my client, you already know you have everything that you need to get to where you want to go. You just have to, what I say here, notice what you have and how to use it. All right. So basically, the setback of thinking that you're lacking something it's all a mindset thing. It's all in your head. Because honestly, if you think about it, you need air to breathe, you need shelter, you need food, and everything else is secondary. And I know some people are like, Bria, what? That's secondary? It's secondary. You're not lacking anything. You're a beautiful, powerful being that is here, and you have everything you need to get to where you want to go. Notice what you have and learn how to use it. Right. And so the way that I like to overcome this notion of me lacking anything is to do a gratitude practice. As you saw in the journal, my journal I shared with you, there's a whole column where I get to write down all the things that I'm grateful for. And a lot of these moments, I just want to share because I think examples are so important. And so I'm going to go to a week that is already filled out. And I put on here gratitude. My sister, she's my person. I wrote that. That's one. I put good eats. Good food always make me feel good. I said messages I get through other people from, God, from source, from whoever you believe in, from the universe. I said laughing with my mom. Good people. I said, really? I said really, like really, I enjoy good people. And so like, even another thing, I said vision board, music, closing a chapter in my life, breakfasts, communities, and first meetings. Like these are all things that I'm grateful for. And so it's like, what are you grateful for? And like, these are really easy to come up with when you're going through your life, which is why I'm excited to share the journal so that you can use this every day instead of thinking right now, like, what am I grateful for? When you feel grateful, when you feel gratitude, when you fill it up, you write it down so you can look back at it. But it's all in your head. And it's all in my head too. This is why I created these practices so that I continue to create the life that I want. And so this kind of goes hand in hand with the 4th setback, which is environmental circumstances. And I put air quotes around circumstances because it's like you have everything you need to get where you want to go. Notice what you have and learn how to use it. But in this point, I like to talk about sitting with yourself and sitting with your shadow self. I actually love dancing with my shadow, but that's on another note. But the way that I think about shadow work is like this. What stories are you unconsciously telling yourself? What stories are you unconsciously telling yourself? For me, when I lose sight of what I'm going through, I always tell myself unconsciously, I don't consciously think this all the time, but sometimes it comes up where it's like, you're better in the background. I'm like, girl, girl. And if you're not new here, if you've been here for a while, you know that I'm all about main character energy. And you're telling me I need to work backstage on my life. I need to be the supporting actor. Oh no, 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 no. No. And so I think when it comes to you being in the space of having environmental circumstances, you need to be aware of some of the stories that you're telling yourself and to tap back into your power because, like, your life is your own. Your life is your own. And I really mean that. Like, my life is my own. As I was sharing, y'all know I just put in my notice at my job. I just put in my notice and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. I really don't. But I trust that something will come together and I'm reminding myself of my power. It might be in a very extreme way to some people, but I'm like, I have choice. I have choice. And so I really want to give you the next few minutes for you to try out one of these activities because I've shared one, brain dumping, be intentional journaling, which is, coming, TBD. And then doing gratitude practice and kind of uncovering some of these shadow stories that we've been telling ourselves, right? And so tomorrow I'm going to talk about staying the course and making progress in the direction that you want and how to do that. Today, I want to give you the next 3 minutes to just sit with which setback is most prominent for you right now. The next 3 minutes are to try out one of these exercises, and then I want you to also just think about, like, where can I build in time 15 to 20 minutes, and if that seems like too much, 5 to 10 minutes for me to do this practice daily, right? So I want you to take this. Look, we take 3 minutes every time we listen to the podcast and we spend time together. We take 3 minutes to reflect. And so if 15 to 20 minutes is too much, take 3 minutes. Okay? Okay? So I want you to take this time and I'll see you here tomorrow to wrap up this series for the Embrace the Change monthly focus. But I'll see you in the next 3 minutes are for you. Okay? Okay. Bye. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Happy reflecting. If anything resonated with you during this episode, pass it along to a friend. Let's continue the chain reaction of inspiration. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can stay updated with all things Duelist Bloom by joining the Village community email list. The link is in the description below. I hope that today is everything you needed to be and more, and remember, you are an inspiration.